Hello and welcome to another episode of Junk Journal Snacks. This is episode number 4. I hope you're enjoying these so far. And today I wanted to document 2 fun things that happened to me during a walk at my beloved botanical garden here in Vienna, Austria. I'm, as always, working in the beautiful junk journal made by Nadia von Art Alalai. You can find her Instagram linked below in the description box. So Nadia actually sent me more stuff. This beautiful newspaper from Germany, from Frankfurt, that you see here is one of the many papers she had just recently sent me as a thank you for mentioning her in my videos. Totally unnecessary, but of course appreciated. She has gorgeous, gorgeous papers. So I decided to add these 2 photos, which I took on my walk in the botanical garden, and I wanted to put them on those 2 pages on top of that beautiful newspaper. So the first step was to put some white gesso over it, but just a very thin layer so you could still see the newspaper writing underneath. And I did that with my brayer, and of course, as always, put way too much gesso. So I just took some and rolled it onto my baking paper, because that is of course going to be another fun piece for collage fodder. On that second one, I knew immediately I had too much, so I immediately dabbed some onto my baking paper. So making sure I'm not wasting any of that goodness. Once that was dried, you can see that you can still see all the script. So then I wanted to take this fun stencil, which I got at Action, which is a local chain. And I'm using, of course, how could it be? Otherwise, my beautiful golden Van Gogh 803. So apparently you can get this gold in quite a few places in North America as well. So check that out. It doesn't seem to be that hard to find. So I left the part in the middle empty because, of course, that was where my photos were going to go. And I will talk about the significance of these 2 photos later when I do the journaling part. So I did that for both book pages. And of course, I still had some beautiful gold left over that could not go to waste. So this will be added on top of the gesso on my baking paper to serve as collage fodder for another time. Then I decided I wanted to have this frame on both of my photos, and I just thought that looked a little bit better. And then I decided, well, let's add another frame under that, and I chose some black paper. So the photo is going to go on top of that. Love that combination, the gold, the black, and the green. It looks really beautiful, I thought. It just gives the whole page, I think, a very elegant touch. And then I decided I wanted to label these 2 photos as well, because I'm going to be writing about those, and rather than trying to find a weird way of mentioning these, like photo on the left, photo on the right, I thought I would give them proper names. So I took these beautiful stamps. These are the field notes stamps that I received from Debbie in the US. And they have this stamp with figure 1, 2, and 3. So I thought that's perfect. And I thought I was going to emboss them. So I tried that. So here's my first attempt, just using some black embossing powder. So that was trial number 1. Wasn't super happy with that, so I thought, nope, I can do better. Because I have another very sparkly embossing powder, so it's this one. It's also black, but it has beautiful sparkles in it. So I thought maybe this would be better. So I tried that one. And yeah, you can see the sparkle a little bit, but I still wasn't super happy. So I thought, okay, you know what? Let's just try a regular stamp with my archival ink and see how that goes. And you see how much crisper that image is. That was just so much better. So I decided to go with that. And I just cut these two, figure 1 and figure 2, off. And I found some golden cardstock that I have for card making. And I just cut out 2 pieces on which I could mount these 2 stamped images. And then underneath that, I thought I would put another black border. And the whole point of this was because I wanted to use brads. I wanted these labels to have brads on the left and the right of the stamped image to look like they are mounted onto this golden background with the brads. Well, at some point I completely lost track of that. Like I should have done that right now after I glued them on. And I remember I still had that thought in my mind at this point. But then for some reason in the next second that thought was gone and I didn't realize it until I started editing the video. I'm like, wait a minute. So then I took out these beautiful, beautiful metallic paints. These I have recently received from lovely Maureen. Thank you again, sweetie. These are just amazing. She had found these, and I will either just list or link the shop below. It is an AliExpress shop, and Maureen said they had so many beautiful metallic watercolors. They did take a very long time to arrive, but they're absolutely gorgeous. So I decided I wanted to try this metallic green on top of my green photos and to see how that would look. And the rest, of course, we're putting in our collage fodder baking paper. Not wasting anything. So here you see what that looks like, and I thought that looked really, really cool. It's a very subtle accent since it's green on green, but it is very visible up close and it just looks awesome. So then I am gluing both of these pages on into my journal. Just love these pages. Really, really love it, even without the brads. And then I wanted to have a nice background for a page to journal on. So I have this stencil. Please don't ask me from where. I've had it forever. And I'm using my tea dye with this brush to try to get that design onto my coffee dyed paper. Wasn't super happy with how that turned out, so I just kept going, trying to make it darker so that the lines in between would be more visible. Yeah, still wasn't super happy with that. So I just kept going off camera and finally it looked like this, which was definitely a bit better. And then I thought, well, what would Louisa do? Hi, Louisa. What would she do to grunge it up a bit? So I thought, okay, since I was using Distress Oxide, it would of course react with water, and this is something Louisa loves doing. So I splattered some more water on it, and now I'm going over it with some kitchen towel to soak up the liquid, and after it was dry, you see these water drops. Now they are a bit faint. You would probably see it better if the Distress Oxide would have been a darker color. But it was okay. It was my first attempt to do this. So thank you, Louisa, for the inspiration. And now again, just to make everything cohesive, I again added these beautiful green metallic splatters, but just a hint of it. And then I started journaling, and I'm going to read you what I journaled. Really enjoyed my recent walk at the botanical garden. Still, each time I walk along the paths, I discover new plants and trees. I had been at the gardens just 2 days earlier and I came across the most beautiful water lilies, figure 1. When I came across these lilies again today, I could not believe my eyes, figure 2. My jaw literally dropped. All of a sudden, in just 2 days, they had grown about 1 meter. How is this possible? I could not make any sense of it until I kept walking and came across another little pond with water lilies, which were the ones I had seen 2 days ago and pretty much looked the same. I laughed at myself so much. How silly am I? Another fun moment was when I walked by a sprinkler. It was really hot, and the thought of feeling that cool water on my skin was too tempting. In a moment I thought I was alone. I put my arm into the sprinklers and laughed, feeling like a little girl doing something naughty. Right at that moment, I caught the eye of a young mom pushing her stroller and laughing with me. That moment when we looked each other in the eye and laughed together, total strangers, was a special connecting moment I don't want to forget. So these are the kind of things I really enjoy documenting because I know my fish brain is going to forget these in probably just a few weeks. So these are the moments I think are so fun to journal about. It doesn't have to be anything grand that happened. These little things I think are super fun to document. And that's what I want this journal to be about. And I want to write in it more. I mean, I have been writing a little bit, but probably not as much as I would like to. And so something else I thought I would do would be to make collages in this journal throughout the book, kind of like I've been doing, but doing it more evenly throughout the journal because this journal is getting so fat. And I'm afraid at one point I probably won't be able to work in it anymore. So I'm thinking if I spread my collages and whatever visual aspects I put in the journal around, then whenever it gets too full to do anything else in, I can then just write for the rest, and then I'll still have some things to look at throughout the journal. Do you know what I mean? Does that make any sense? I hope so. So then another thing that came in Nadia's last mail with all the beautiful papers was this cute paper clip that she had made. So I just clipped those two pages together so that they're just a little bit secret. And that's it for this episode. I'm hoping you found some sort of inspiration here to work in your own journal again. Don't give up. Just keep working in it. You will love it in the end. Thank you so much for watching. There you see how chubby this little baby is. But I love it so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Please give it a like if you enjoyed it. Love you guys. Mwah. Mwah.